I'm Shwa, and you are listening to Light Up with Shwa, a weekly podcast to open our hearts and minds on a journey with me. Good afternoon, Mona.
Good afternoon, Shwa. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Welcome. And how are you doing today?
Thank God we're good. You know, it's the cold weather. Takes a little exactly, but it is December. Yeah. Almost the end of the year.
Do you like cold or you like warm?
To tell you the truth, so my birthday's coming up, so I am a winter baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is it?
December 24th.
Oh, nice. Eve.
Yeah. And so I do love snow. I like this time of year and everything. But I think at the end of the day, as I get older, I feel the cold. I'm not loving it as much.
Oh, yeah. You are really old, aren't you? You have how many children do you have?
Mashallah, I have 3 kids. I have a 5-year-old daughter, Sophia, and I have twin boys, Umar and Ali, who are, mashallah, 20 months old.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, well, we have started. Tell me a little more about yourself, who you are and what do you do?
I'm actually a founder and CEO of a startup called Curryations. I'm also a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker. And as we talked about, I'm a mom of 3. I'm married. I've been married, mashallah, now 15 years. And I've been in Boston now 15 years. I'm from Pakistan. When I was 2 years old, my parents migrated, and so I grew up primarily in New York City.
Okay.
And so a lot of my schooling has been here in the U.S.
Of course, 2 years old, right?
Yeah.
So you studied in New York?
Yes, I studied in New York. My father also worked for the United Nations, so we got to live overseas. We lived in Kenya, Liberia, Slovakia, Kazakhstan, Nepal. So mashallah, we went to a lot of places. And so I did schooling. I went to schools there as well. Okay. They had American schools there, and so we were able to...
Any particular schools like... Catholic school or the regular school or like...
They were regular schools. Like, for example, when we were in Kenya, we went to the International School of Kenya. Okay. So it was an American-based school. Okay. So teachers were from America. Oh. And so a lot of the students also... They also had British schools there, but we went to the American school because we grew up in America, so we went there.
So all these places that you just mentioned earlier had American schools?
Yes, primarily. But some of the places that I mentioned, I had already graduated by then, and so we would just visit our parents during the summers, or when I could take some time off from work at that time. Yeah.
Your parents are alive?
My dad is alive, and he's in New York and Florida. My mother, unfortunately, she passed away in 2009. And so she had a sudden heart attack. She was 67. I was 37 at the time, so I was an adult, you could say. But still, I miss her dearly. And I had actually gone to Hajj with my husband because at that time we had no children. We were married for a good 7 years, 8 years. And so I wanted to go pray for a child. But it ended up being a journey for my mother because as soon as I landed, a few hours later, I found out she died of a sudden heart attack. And so it was unbelievable, and you don't realize these things, they're meant to be and why you're supposed to go. Your purpose changes, so all of a sudden then it became a journey for my mother,
So what is Hajj, if you can briefly tell our listeners, and what do you mean by the journey became your mother's?
So Hajj is a pilgrimage. As a Muslim, it's one of the pillars of Islam. They want you to do it when you're financially and physically able to do so. And many years, I think in the past, a lot of people did it when they were much older. But now we're seeing more younger generations going because they are more financially able to do so. And actually, if you ask me, it's a very physical thing. You have to really be in that mindset of constant prayer, and you're with a big community. I mean, over 2 million, I would say. And so these are things that physically it takes such a toll on you. But you do go, they say that you go to Hajj and you come back and it's like you get a clean slate. And so you go and you repent and you ask God for forgiveness and you ask Him for all your wishes. And
so you felt, how did you feel after it?
So when I went, I mostly feel it's a bittersweet experience for me personally, just because I found that my mother had passed away. But then I realized very soon afterwards that I was supposed to go, and that was the place I was supposed to be. And because of that, we were able to provide actually a Hajj for her. I couldn't do it myself. I had to do my own. But we were able to get a student from the Medina University to perform it in her behalf. And so that gave me a lot of comfort, you know. And I had the support of the imam and everybody around me to tell me that this is where I'm supposed to be. And what else could I ask for to have, you know, what else could she ask for to have a Hajj performed for and to have her child in Allah's house?
Did you feel when everybody told you that this is the best place to be, did you want to be there or you wanted to be with her?
Oh, well, of course I wanted to be there for the funeral and everything. Or I guess, and I feel sometimes I still don't have that closure, you know, because I didn't actually see a funeral and all of that. Excuse me, sorry.
No,
she was in New York. She was in New York, you know.
Sorry, I'm asking you that. But
yeah, no, because she is still a very important part of my life, you know. And
I'm sure she exists around you because I had an experience myself. My father passed away. I feel he's there.
Yes.
And
they don't leave.
Yeah.
They don't, and thank God they don't leave.
Yeah, and she must be her voice must be coming in like giving you instructions like
she
right?
comes in my dreams, and you know, and
Mona, I think this is a good idea to do this way.
Yeah, exactly. So I always say that, you know, I get my optimism from my mom and my independence from my dad.
Excellent.
And
see, you're keeping her alive.
Yes, and you know, they say that children are the sadqa jariya. You know, I mean, we're the children continue the parents and their teachings and everything.
Nice. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no, thank you. But Hajj is definitely an experience that I would say that really you go and you really feel, even though you're amongst millions of people, but you really feel that Allah is there listening to you.
And Allah is God, right?
Yes, and Allah is God. Yes.
That's very nice. Thank you. So, since you have been a parent, what have you found? Like, do you apply what you learned from your parents, or do you learn new things? Or what kind of a parent are you?
Well, I have learned a lot from my parents. I think the unconditional love and time, especially that my mom was a housewife. And so she gave her whole life to us, to my sister, to me, to my father. And so that purest of love that I have seen, I can't thank God enough for that. And I honestly say that if I can even give my children 1/3 of that, then inshallah they'll be okay. Because I do feel love is really the basic thing that they need. And I need from them and they need from me. And so...
what is love? Sorry.
What is love? Yes. Love is really, I think, giving them time, looking them in the eye, giving them the moment when they want to talk to you. You actually listen. You actually play with them. You make them laugh. You watch them grow up through their eyes. You know, when they're asking those millions of questions, you actually answer them or try to answer them.
And you do that?
I have become better at that.
Okay.
I've become better at that. And I think it's because I have taken out things from my life that weren't allowing me to do that. And it's something I evolved in. And I think only until I realized that. I had my daughter after 10 years of marriage. We had fertility issues, I had miscarriages and everything. And so you can just imagine the joy that she brought into our home. She turned my husband and I from a couple to a family. And then after that, of course, you know, culturally, everybody's like, oh, she's so lonely, you know, she needs to have siblings.
Oh, everybody has to tell you that, right?
Yes, of course. And I'm like, there's only so much I can control. you know, and thank God my husband who understood that too, you know.
That's nice.
And then after more fertility treatment, everything, but with God's grace, then we had Umar and Ali.
Wow.
We had these twins, but I was at the brink of, this is the last time I'm going to do this procedure. I can only do it so much. And I just prayed to God that please do what is best.
Wow, you're a brave woman.
I don't, you know, and people would say to me that why you keep doing this or doing this to yourself? And I said, you know, I don't know. There's just something in me where there's that little ounce of hope where I'm like, let me just try one more time. Let us just try one more time. And then with God's grace, they came, and then, but it was
Beautiful boys. Yes.
it was a tough pregnancy. I was much older. I ended up getting preeclampsia. They were born early at 33 weeks. Nothing I wanted for them or they wanted, but I guess we were meant to meet them sooner. And so they were in the NICU for 6 weeks, and it was hard. It was hard to kind of juggle my daughter, who was going to daycare at the time. And then my husband also, he was there, and then I had to C-section everything, but every day and you have to, you know, try to feed them. Yeah. You have to try to feed them also, and so there's so many things you have to do.
Wow.
And so it was a tough time, but it was also a beautiful time where I actually, when you're sitting in the NICU in a recliner and you're holding your babies, everything else disappears. All your worries disappear, and you start to prioritize, and you start to think that this is what's important. Wow. And I think it's these experiences that really help you become a better parent. And everybody has different experiences, you know, but these are the experiences that have helped me. And I still have a long way to go. I am by far no means a great parent. I'm still on my iPhone. I'm still on the computer. I'm still like, Betty, give me a few minutes. Let me go cook something. You know, I can definitely do many more things with them. But now I don't get as angry as much because I don't have to run to a meeting. I don't have to run to get to work. I don't have to do, you know, so I think because of that, I'm becoming a better parent, someone who is trying to relish and cherish the times that I have.
You have become more conscious parent.
Yes.
Conscious yourself also.
Yes.
To become a good parent.
Yes, that I want them to see that we want to be happy. We want to be grateful. We want to be together. For me, mealtime is very important. I want to sit together as a family and eat.
You're not on your iPhones while sitting?
No. My daughter, even though she does like her iPad. But, you know, it's, we still, I would say that, you know, every time it's like, no, come on, everybody come, let's eat. There's a lot of screaming, yelling, food on the floor. There's a lot of everything.
Yeah, because they're still young.
Yes, exactly. But it's one of my favorite times of the day.
That's nice. That's nice. Very nice. Thank you for sharing all that. So, okay. So I guess are you like a clean freak? Like if the food is on floor or on all that, are you comfortable? I mean, you're okay with it? I'm sure you would want a clean house, but you're not what you call. What would you say? Like, oh God,
the house
such
is
a messy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to have a clean house with a 21-month, twins and a 5-year-old.
No, I'm not. I think my husband wish I was.
Okay.
But I'm definitely not. I rather cook than clean, to tell you the truth.
Right.
And also, I don't mind a little mess here and there.
Yeah.
You know, I think my desk is a mess. Everything. It's just that I don't know. I feel it's okay. Again,
so you're relaxed about it for now.
Yeah, I mean, there's crayons on my wall, drawings on my wall. There's stuff that needs to be folded. You know, there's just there is. It's okay.
Mona, why aren't you doing it?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And I think that was the one thing that when you become a parent, you realize you cannot do it all.
Excellent.
Especially a mom who's working. You know, and even a mom who's not working outside, who's working inside the house, you cannot do it all.
So are you still in real estate?
Yes, I'm in real estate as well, which is really exciting too.
Oh, wow.
It's
managing that, Mona's Curryations, so both, and then 3 children.
Yeah. So we haven't.
And you have not folded the laundry? That's bad.
No, I don't. It comes out of the laundry basket.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I now I assume that you have 24 hours in a day, or do you have many more?
No, I have 24, and I get tired too. And this is where I think we talk about the village or the support that we have. Like we do have a nanny who comes Monday to Friday, and so that's great help. And then I have a very supportive husband, thank God. Yeah. And then I also try to juggle it, because I think when I was working before and my daughter was in daycare, I didn't really have a very good work-life balance. And I think that's something I still struggle with, even with these things, with the food business and the real estate. But still, I try to work at it so that there are times where I'm like, no, I don't need to check my email. I need to now focus on the family. I need to, it's the weekend. Let's do something fun or something or the other. But it's crazy.
Yeah, it must be.
It's crazy. But what I'm hoping is that the children won't remember this craziness.
Yeah, they're young.
They're young, right? And I'm also, I'm hoping. I don't know, I feel sometimes that I'm doing all of this because it's my time to do it. And I feel also it's maybe their risk. My husband and I have to, through God's grace, these are the provisions we have to provide for. And maybe this is the vehicle or the platform that these provisions will be provided through. So that's what kind of keeps me going, And
wonderful.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Days are crazy, but thank God it's good crazy.
Yeah, so I had this how do you balance your work? So you already told me. Okay, that's nice. That's wonderful. So yeah, it is always a struggle. It cannot be so simple, but that's life, right?
Right. That's his life.
As long as you are not upset about it, you're trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And that's how life is, I guess.
And again, we evolve to it. If you asked me 2 years ago, I would give you a different answer. But because I've done a 360 of my life by stopping and going to an office every single day, which believe me, I loved. I did. But it had its time.
Would you want to do it again?
Later on?
Yeah.
No, not after being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so tell me about your Mona's Curryations briefly.
So Mona's Curryations, these are frozen, ready-to-cook halal entrees that represent Pakistani Indian food.
Okay.
And this stemmed actually from my crazy life, Okay. These are, everything is done for you. It's all prepped, but it's frozen. So what we're doing is we are washing, peeling, chopping, and mixing, and then freezing. All you need to do is defrost the bag, put it in a pot, and in 25-30 minutes you have food.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the prep work is done. And our food takes at least an hour to cook.
Yeah.
So if half of that hour is taken care of, the other half is you're just putting in the pot and winding down from the day. How nice is that?
That's
Psychologically, having a home-cooked meal, a fresh-cooked meal, is priceless.
Right.
Something that you would feed your family, something I feed my family.
Wonderful.
And that's something that I wanted. I feel that, it serves a purpose. The function is the food. But emotionally, what it does for me, and which I hope will do for others, is that it gives you a nice meal without the fuss.
Wow, nice.
So that's the concept.
People have to, try it out. You have a website?
Yes, it's www.monascurryations.com. So MONASCURRYATIONS.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put it on the website also.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you're enjoying the process? Or?
Yes, I actually am, to tell you
This is your baby.
This is my baby. My mother, Masha, was a wonderful cook. And so we learned my sister and I learned how to cook from her.
Okay.
And so this is really, it's her recipes. And so then when I had to actually come up with the packaging, the labeling, which entrees to begin, what to do, I have never had an opportunity to be so expressive in my life. Really, the bag is the color I love. Yeah. The labels are the designs that I enjoy.
I loved it, by the way. Thank you for bringing it.
Thank you.
I'm going to try those.
Thank you. So I really have enjoyed that part, but there are also challenges. You have to do everything. And since I basically shifted gears from a different industry, such a steep learning curve.
So have you always been a real estate agent and then
No, real estate. Before I was in corporate America in the financial industry. So I worked on Wall Street, and then I became a bank examiner, and then my last job was at the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. So always in financial industry, and then a good 12 years in regulation.
I guess so you know how to manage your business.
Oh, that's what everybody says, but you know what? We do. That's where we become vulnerable. It's true. We do, because, at the end of the day, it's your business, it's your baby, and sometimes, you don't always see the blind spots, and you don't always realize that you missed that. You get good things, but you also get the not so good things, and to appreciate and to understand that that's okay. That's a learning curve. That's the growing pains. You'll get somewhere. But as long as you're passionate about it, I think that's what drives you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Coming back to a little more on parenting, do you believe that children are a source? You are a source for children, or do you they come through you, or do you believe that you own them?
No, I believe they come through me. Okay. They evolve with me as I evolve. I learn from them; they learn from me. There are times where I may do something, like I may speak a little loudly, and my daughter will say, "Mommy, that's not very nice."
Oh wow! Okay. So does she appreciate? Does she know that you're doing these cooking, the entrepreneurial cooking business? And
she does, and she loves it, and it's cute. She's telling me, "Oh, Mommy, you're a good cook, and good luck," and she's very mature for her age. I think
5, right?
She's 5.
So do you take input from her when she is expressing herself, like? With all what's going on, are you able to manage that, to listen to her completely, or?
No, I can't say completely.
Okay.
I cannot.
To some extent.
To some extent. I try to do my best.
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because not only because she's at that stage where Masha, she asks a lot of questions, which I've learned from a class on innovation, that's the way to be. Because that's how you collect data, and that's how you connect the
they're
points.
Sponges. They're
exactly.
They're learning.
And I think it's beautiful, because I also ask a lot of questions. And then not only that, it's her, and she's also sharing her time with her brothers.
Oh yeah. How is she doing with that?
Oh, Masha, she's a wonderful big sister. She is really doing well. She enjoys it.
That's nice.
And I think I find her and my eldest twin very much alike. And my youngest twin is more like my husband, more reserved. But because the youngest one is more also a lot with the Sophia and Umar, the older one, he's also coming out of his shell. So it's funny to see how...
So you're learning from your children in different ways?
Yes.
So you're a lively person, or you're
a serious
person?
No, I'd love to laugh, Thank God, I love to laugh. I love to be happy, And I'm not saying I don't cry. I'm not saying I don't get upset. I do all these things, but the state at which I am the calmest, stress-free, is when I'm laughing or happy, and those are the things.
Wonderful. So, so you said you think they come through you. So are you not going to control every aspect of their life? Are you going to let them grow, have their opinions? Like, what do you think? They are younger. At this time, it's a different stage.
I don't want to dictate their life.
You don't?
Why
not?
Because I don't like being dictated.
Okay.
And I think it's more so empathy. I want to put myself in their shoes and them in my shoes, that I don't want to really, I want to be free. And I want them to be free.
Anything you want to change as a parent that you have, and can you tell me one thing that you like about being a parent?
I just love, I guess I love having the honor of being a parent.
Wonderful.
I do. I because I was also in that situation where I may not have been a parent, or could not have been, at least naturally.
Yeah.
And so I thank God every day for that moment, to have that, to have these 3 blessings, mashallah.
Something that you would like to change?
I would say, again, I think better as just work-life balance, better at listening to them, being there for them. And I just hope and pray that I'm there, that they can come to me. And I had a very good relationship with my mother. I have a good relationship with my father. I pray that I have a good relationship with my children, because I think that is important. I feel that is very important, because that helped ground me. And I would like them to also have that same foundation and that assurance or that comfort with a parent. So,
do you think that builds confidence in them by giving them assurance through your love, through being present?
yes, I think definitely, because when your parent tells you that you're okay or you'll be okay, and they still love you, that's golden. It still works, right? It still works on us, right?
Yep.
Doesn't it?
So what is, to live a healthy, fulfilling life, what is to have that?
I think that definitely includes a healthy mind and body.
Okay.
I can definitely work on both of them, but I feel to be at peace wherever you are, whoever you're with, and to enjoy. Do you see the glass half full? Do you see it half empty? And to just appreciate what you have. And it's not always easy. But I think when you're in that state of mind, everything just around you starts to feel better.
So how do you bring yourself to that state of mind?
You have to be conscious about it, because when you're not in that state, you have to pull yourself out of it. And that's where I think all of a sudden, I find religion helps a lot in this.
Okay.
Either doing namaz or doing prayers or reading the Quran or listening even to the Quran. I think religion personally has helped me a lot calm down.
Okay, good. So you already said you like to laugh. That was one of my questions also, being silly, being laughing.
Oh yeah, I love.
What is the value of gratitude in your life? Which you also mentioned already, but
yeah, no, I can't thank God enough for all of His blessings, and I also feel though this is something that I think as I got older and I'm getting older, I'm appreciating more and more things.
Okay.
I think when you're younger, at least in my case personally, you do take things for granted, but as life experiences hit you. That's where you're like, wait a minute, I remember even in the NICU, for example, and there were certain milestones my twins had to meet. And, of course, as a parent, you just want them home.
Yeah.
But every day felt like years. And I would say, but they haven't done this. And they said, but look what they have done. So you need that. You need that reminder that, okay, fine, you haven't, but, look what they have done. Same thing with my business. I'm like, oh, my God, I didn't do this right. Or that. They're like, but look what you have done.
That's
and
so that's the positive or hopeful way to keep continuing.
Keep continuing. And when you do that, when you remember you've done that or realize you're like, oh, thank God. Yeah. Thank God it's just like losing weight. You've lost 5 pounds. You're like, oh, thank God I have 5 less pounds to lose. So that's where I think the gratitude, with your experiences, you have that.
That's nice.
Nice.
Thank you. Okay. So I guess, would you like to answer this value of time? What is the value of time for you?
Oh, time is precious. Time is precious and it's unknown, right? We don't know how long we're here on this earth. But I think what I personally like to do, want to do, strive to do, is just have time that I'm content with. And I'm getting to a point where I want to live life with no regrets. If there are things I want to do, with people I want to do, places I want to go, I want to be able to try to do it. And with God's grace, if I can do it, I would love to experience it.
Wonderful. So what's the purpose of your life? Then, with all what you're doing?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
I am. I'm evolving. I don't know. But I will say that I shifted gears, and again, I'm still trying to connect the dots. I'm still trying to figure out why Allah's made 9 planets and why Allah's created mountains and you know what I mean?
Why did Allah create you?
Why did He create me? And what is
Mother's creations?
Yeah, and that's what it is. What am I here for?
Right.
And what can I do? And what should I do?
So you're still figuring out. And that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Of course it's okay.
You don't have to have all the answers.
No, but I think, again, I go back to how I've been evolving, that I feel that now figuring out my purpose is becoming more and more important to me.
Okay. Wonderful.
So.
That's good. That's good. So you'll get there. You're young. Come on.
Well, it's all relative.
Yes. So I can see, like, in our conversation, you have a message of hope, and that's one of my questions. Like, what is the message of hope that you would like to give people?
I think at the end of the day, we're all human. Mm-hmm. You know, we all react and do things. I mean, they're basic, innate things that we have to do, and there's that. You know, if you look at that. Is it Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know, there are people on this earth that are just struggling for food and water. Mm-hmm. Then there are others who are looking for security. Then there are others who are at a stage where they're looking for acknowledgement. And then there's that self-enlightenment. Mm-hmm. So I guess just the message of hope is just keep at it, but recognize when you do need to change mm-hmm. and adjust or readjust. Mm-hmm. Because when you don't need to keep pushing yourself or thinking that this is just the way it has to be if you're not happy. Mm-hmm. If you're happy, then oh my God, go for it. Mm-hmm. But if you're struggling with a situation or with something, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to look within. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to make a change. Mm-hmm. And I think, again, spiritually, this is where don't be afraid to ask God. Mm-hmm. This is what I feel. Mm-hmm. That don't be afraid to ask Him, because inshallah He will guide you, and but you need to have faith in that.
Ask Him or her, right?
Ask God.
Yeah, ask God, ask Allah.
Yes.
Good. What lights you up?
Oh, seeing the world through my children's eyes, mm-hmm. spending time with family, meeting new people, learning about their lives, mm-hmm. learning about why things are maybe the way they are. I recently learned that lobsters don't get cancer.
Why? I mean,
we have no idea. Lobsters don't get cancer.
Yeah, so what does it mean? Like everything else does get cancer?
That's what they were saying. And so because of that, there's this new research lab that's going to be created that will focus on a lobster's life and mm-hmm. body mm-hmm. and everything.
And maybe we'll all be living like a lobster.
They're going to put something in us that looks like a lobster. Okay, you know? Okay. And so, I mean, I think I'm just a student of life. I love to learn. And with God's grace, I've been blessed that I've had these opportunities, and I hope, inshallah, they're
God willing, right?
God willing, exactly, that they'll continue, and I'll learn my purpose, and in the meantime, I'll be able to also, contribute and also be satisfied within.
Well, seems so. When did you start your Mona's Creations? Curations.
I bake Curryations. I know if you think about it, like because curry, I think is a knowledgeable
like a creation.
Exactly. Right? That's what you did. Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mona. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying with me through this exciting episode. Please don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode of Light Up with Shwa.